What's up, guys? Welcome to the special edition on the Wing It podcast. I have my good friend Simbiwe from A4 Paddock Viewing. What's up, brother?
How are you doing,
um,
Doug?
good. It's been a long week. Sure. Very cold. Um, this past weekend we had Miami. Your thoughts on the Grand Prix? I didn't watch it. I actually um completely forgot about it. That it's a night race.
Yeah,
And it's past my bedtime. But I did watch the highlights. And what is your opinion about the Grand Prix? Because like Norris won it, and a lot of people are so happy. And yeah.
it was one of the most exciting races. And exciting because Max Verstappen didn't win this time. Max has been dominating this season and the previous season. So for us to see a different driver winning, and not just any different driver, Norris. Norris is one of those guys that we all love, man. He's been on podium so many times. I think 15 times. And this is the first time that he's actually at the top of the podium. So that was exciting. It was good watching him popping the champagne, that his trademark celebration. So it was a good race. Overall, it was exciting, not just in the front, even in the middle sector in terms of the cars. Alonso and them had nice fights. Lewis and Magnussen had a good fight. Obviously, Logan Sargent did what he did best, which is not finish the race. So yeah, it was an exciting race.
Um, Simpiwe, like, what do you think went on with Red Bull strategy um, on Sunday? Because I mean, they were so far ahead, and like suddenly, um, Lando had the upper hand on the Red Bulls. Piastri as well. Piastri had good pace. Do you think with the new upgrades to McLaren, it's a different season now, like a ball game, like the ball has changed?
I do think the upgrades did help. They actually did help PS3. They did help Norris. Um, at the same time, I don't think Red Bull fell off the wagon. It's just unfortunate that Max's car got into that little crash when he hit the cone. And after the race, they did mention that it had a hole underneath it. But I would have expected if Max hadn't hit that cone, he probably would have fought his way back again to the front. But the McLarens had really good pace. Um, I'm two minds about Perez because he's got a great car, but he's just not performing at the top level. So yeah, maybe it was literally McLaren's day on the day. And we hope they keep it up, because we want it to be exciting in the front. We've had enough of Max dominance. We want that excitement back, and we hope that McLaren can continue performing. We do know that Red Bull is also going to come. Not Red Bull, Ferrari is going to come with upgrades the next race, and we hope that Red Bull also just comes with a little upgrade, and we'll see what will happen.
Yeah, with the news over the weekend, that Adrian newbie is leaving Red Bull. I think it's exciting times again for Formula One because I think well, the rumor has it that he's going to Ferrari next year, and I mean he Hamilton with Hamilton and Leclerc. What is your thoughts on Hamilton's move to Ferrari? Is it a good move? Is it more marketing move? Because Leclerc doesn't want to be a second driver, neither does Hamilton. My fear is we're gonna have the same situation that we had with Rosberg and Hamilton.
It's going to be interesting to see. Was it a good move? I do think it was. On a number of cases. So one, I'd say, as we can currently see, Mercedes's car is just not doing it. Both Lewis and Russell are struggling. The car is no much different from what it was last season. They're literally fighting for P5 to P8. So Lewis moving to Ferrari, which is a car right now that is actually doing really well in terms of sprint pace, in terms of one lap pace. I think him and Leclerc partnering up is going to be very interesting. There will be probably the first three races where they see who's going to be the number one driver. So there's going to be that fighting between them. So very similar to what's happening now with Carlos and Leclerc, because Carlos doesn't have a seat. So he's like, okay, screw it. I'm just going to do it the way I do it and drive the way I want to drive. So it's making it very interesting. But overall, good, good, good. I think it was a good choice for Lewis. Very similar to what he did when he moved to McLaren, and we hope that it's the same results. Basically, moving into a team that's going to give him a championship.
Yeah, I must say, it's very interesting to see how look Carlos Sainz is approaching the rest of the season. I think he is already like putting his mind in it. Okay, listen here, it's my last season. I'm just gonna enjoy my racing and go for everything I got. Um, Speaking of drivers market, so this past weekend as well, they have started with the announcements for next season and the rumors. So, like I said to you, let's do a drivers market show for next year because there's a lot of seats still available, and yeah, the interesting first one for me is obviously Red Bull. We have Max signed up um, for next season. Do you think there's a possibility that he can go to Mercedes? Like, because obviously there's a release clause that Mercedes has to pay, and I think that's ridiculous money. um, but with the politics going on at Red Bull at the moment, do you think um, Max can end up at Mercedes?
There's a possibility, because yes, you're quite correct. There's a lot of turmoil happening at Red Bull. But when I think about it, it's a difficult choice for Max. The choice is basically staying at Red Bull, which is a dominant car that is really fast and that he can drive and is good at and is winning with, um, and carry on taking the turmoil that's happening behind the scenes, basically within the team, and just focus on his driving. Or go to Mercedes, where he's probably going to get a better deal, but not a better car, and then now have to spend development in terms of trying to get Mercedes to the right level, but at the same time at the risk of 2026 coming because the regulations are changing. So he doesn't know, or nobody knows actually what's going to happen in 2026 with the new regulations in terms of which cars are going to be more dominant, in terms of if the cars are focused more on the engine or focused on the driving style. So it's a risky combination for Max. I would say, if I was in his shoes, I'd stay with the team that currently has the fastest car. What would you do?
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I would stay with Red Bull. I think he knows the team for I think almost what 12 years or 13 years, I think, or 10 years. So um, it's the way that Mercedes that's the car for Mercedes is at the moment is I think it's I've never seen Toto Wolff in a bad space at the moment. You can see he doesn't know what to do anymore. Like every year he goes but I mean your car looks pretty, but your engine is not like it's shit. It's not performing, and the drivers doesn't like the car at all. I think Lewis and Russell are just sitting ducks at the moment. Unless Mercedes like can some way Perez
Actually,
is out
well,
of contract. Perez is out of contract for next year. Who would you put in his? Will you keep Perez at Red Bull, or would you um put someone else in that seat?
that's a very interesting question. So, at the moment, there's 10 drivers who are out of contracts by the end of the season. So it's Sergio Perez, it's Carlos Sainz, it's Pierre Gasly, it's Daniel Ricciardo, it's Yuki Tsunoda, Esteban Ocon, Valtteri Bottas, Zhou Wanyu, Kevin, as well as Logan Sargent. The top drivers, the strongest drivers out of all of those people is Carlos Sainz and Sergio Perez. So now Red Bull has a decision to make. Do they keep Sergio Perez, who's one of the top drivers, or do they go and chase Carlos Sainz? I would gamble and go for Carlos Sainz because they've had Perez. He's been there. He's not doing bad. It's just that he's not doing as great as Max. Well, try somebody new. Try Carlos Sainz and see what he can do. You've got him for 2024. You've got him for 2025, and then yeah, you just gamble. I'd literally put Carlos Sainz at Red Bull.
I also agree with you. The thing is, he actually knows a lot of people at Red Bull because he was with Max at the Red Bull Academy. So it makes sense because he knows uh, 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 the team, he knows the infrastructure, he knows the team principal, he knows yeah, basically everyone at Red Bull. So I think he also knows um like the expectations that Red Bull wants from him. So yeah, I would definitely go there for uh, uh, Saints at um Red Bull. Ferrari, obviously, we know Leclerc and Max is sorry, Max. Um, Leclerc and Hamilton is signed for next season. For the how long do you think Hamilton will stay at Ferrari? Do you think he will go past 2026, or is it? I think he will stay until the new car is coming. Because obviously he wants to drive that as well. But do you think he will go past 2026? Because yes, that guy's also
Mm.
getting old now, eh?
I think he should. If Alonso can do it, so can Lewis do it. And it would be to his benefit. And this is if Adrian Newey joins Ferrari, because if Adrian is leaving Red Bull the beginning of next season, but contractually, he can't do much to the car for the 2025 season. So the only time he will have hands-on effect to the cars would be the 2026, 2027 going forward. So ideally for Lewis, he'd want to stick around for that for as long as he can. If Alonso's still around this season, next season, because even with Alonso signed a new contract with Aston Martin. So he's probably going to be around for another 2 seasons. So, hey, man, it's no longer about age, you know. Alonso showed us that age is not a factor. It's all about your driving. So he should just stay there.
Yeah, I also think Hamilton is probably gonna stay till at least 2020 eight, I would say. He wants that eight world champion ship. I mean, to do it in a Ferrari, I think will be special for him because Michael Schumacher, like he's here, or one of his heroes was Michael Schumacher and Niki Lauda, and Lauda was also a Ferrari driver. So yeah, so I'm looking forward to see them next season together, Leclerc and Hamilton. Mercedes, we have George Russell, probably as the number one driver. Like I said to you yesterday when we did some chat about it, my personal opinion with Mercedes, um, that I would like to see Sergio Perez at Mercedes. He's also driven for them in the past. He knows Toto. Do you think there's a possibility that we can see him at Mercedes next season?
I think um, definitely if Red Bull let him go, his number two ideal team to join would be Mercedes. And like you said, yeah, and you're quite correct, they do have a relationship. He's driven for them before, so he's quite familiar with them. So yeah, and I think it'll be an interesting combination with him and Russell. That it'll be another competition in terms of who's number one driver between the two. So very similar to what's going to happen to Lewis and Leclerc, whereby the first two or three races will define who's going to be the number one driver. Same thing is going to happen at Mercedes because I like Russell, but I just feel like there's certain times where when he's under pressure, he just loses it, and that's the problem for me.
Yeah, actually, I also think when Russell's under pressure, he like I wouldn't say a spoiled brat, but he throws his shit out of the cot,
Yeah,
and then he doesn't like it, and then he gets angry with everyone. I mean, sometimes he gets like personal, and I think that it's unnecessary to do that on like live television. Um, so yeah, I think Perez will be a perfect fit for Russell. I think three races in they can see who's the fastest and who's the number one driver. Yeah, the next team we have is McLaren, also done sealed is Lando and Piastri. Um, do you see Lando winning the championship with McLaren one day?
I do actually. I think after this past Sunday's race, it sparked something in him. Lando's got a lot of potential, and I think everyone knows that Lando's a great driver. Um, um, when you also think about it, when Piastri joined McLaren, Piastri is also really good and strong. And he dominated a bit last season. I think the first four races of joining McLaren. But Lando has picked up his socks. And if you watch now the past few races, Lando is always ahead of Piastri. So McLaren, if McLaren can continue on the path that they're on in terms of giving a good solid car, I think possibly he could win a world champion. If they gave them a great car, even next season they could take it. Because for me, Piastri and Lando is the strongest lineup right now compared to everyone else. That's a combination, the strongest combination of them all.
Yeah, I must say, I love McLaren at the moment. It's such a the everyone is in a good space at the moment. There's no toxic relationship between Ross Brawn and oh sorry Ross Brawn. um, what's his name again? It is Ross Brawn.
What's his name again? I forgot. Let me just check it quickly. It's what's his name again?
Zach Brown. There we
Zach.
go.
Yes, yes.
Mr. Zach. Oh, I forgot that now. Anyway, like I love Zach Brown. I think he's a funny guy. I would love to have a few beers with that guy actually. Um, but like the relationship between Lando and him and Piastri is very that like it's a good relationship. They like each other. There's no bad vibes. What I also like. is the jokes that they do with each other. I think that is like the top funniest things now in Formula One. Um, and the Lando's personality, I think, gives him the opportunity to be the next Nigel Mansell. Um,
I agree.
I mean, he looks like an awesome dude. I would love to meet him one day if I have the opportunity. Um, Piastri and Lando, yeah, great team. I think they're gonna do phenomenal things together in like next say 4 years. Then we have Aston Martin. Alonso has been confirmed, but the dark horse he's Mr. Stroll. And I don't know about you, dude, but it's it's such a like I think Lance, he knows his dad will not fire him, and he really doesn't respect the history of Aston Martin. He just like do his thing and doesn't really care. Um, yeah, I think it's time for him to either do something else, pursue maybe like you said, he likes golf or something. But at the moment, he's not performing. He's not um having the respect from other drivers. Number one, he's like not a lot of drivers like him at the moment. Same with what happened with Mazepin. Do you think it's like you keep Stroll maybe as a reserve driver going to say doing the Le Mans for Aston Martin or the endurance racings and or the GT2 GT3? Who would you put in Alonso's teammate for next season? I know we talked about it as well yesterday, me and you. I would like to see Bottas. I think he will be a perfect fit. Do you agree?
So, what is happening with Aston Martin is that Daddy's little boy is basically keeping the seats because his daddy's little boy, and Stroll, the father, needs to make a decision of, am I doing this for my son, or am I doing this to be competitive and to be a big brand that Aston Martin is? And you're quite correct. I would tell Lance Stroll to go to Le Mans or to GT2 and find another driver and replace him because he hasn't been performing for the past 2 seasons. Lance Stroll has not been performing. Alonso has come in. Alonso was winning, was on the podium a number of times last season. Lance Stroll is nowhere to be seen. So definitely, I would put him out. He can go cry to daddy, but strategically, they need to get rid of him. And fully agree with you that the best partner for Alonso at this stage would be Bottas in terms of the people who don't have a contract 2024. And Bottas is why Bottas, it's maturity, it's experience, and Bottas has got that thing of he's not a he doesn't fight for a position. He's not trying to be number one. He's not trying to be a bully within the team. He is just trying to perform and to push the car as much as he can. So definitely, I would be happy to see Bottas joining Aston Martin.
Awesome. Then we have Stake Audi. Like Audi's coming in 2026. Hulkenberg has been confirmed. Who would you put in next to Hulkenberg?
A difficult one for me. I keep thinking of the people that are available, um, who are currently in the Formula One, and then also think about these younger boys who are out there and available and have shown actually that they can drive. So, who would you put there?
My
Berman.
personal
Berman.
opinion, my personal opinion is because it's a German-based team that I think they will go for a German driver, but there's not a lot of like German drivers. Imagine, imagine they put like it will be the biggest shock in history of Formula One if Vettel or Rosberg comes back. Like something tells me there's something that we don't know. Um,
Strong feeling. You know, when you put it like that, I've got a strong feeling that Vettel might come back. And you're quite correct. German team, and they made it very obvious now with signing Hulk that, hey, we want German drivers. So it will be very interesting. It will be fun to see.
imagine Rosberg comes back. I will shit my pants. It's just, I will, yeah. Or Vettel. I would love to see Vettel back in Formula One. I think with the power and the money that Audi has, they can easily be a top contender team for the next 5 6 years. Um, yeah, like I said, but if not, I would put in Gasly. I will put Gasly in the state team or OD team for next season. Because at the moment at Alpine, I don't know what's going on. It's
It's
like
remorse.
I think there's too much investors and like I have no idea what they're gonna do. Um, so yeah, my personal, what's your feeling, Gasly?
I would. I agree with you. Dependent on what's going to happen at Alpine because both those seats are basically open. So Gasly and Esteban Ocon, it's not confirmed in terms of who's going to take that seats there. So if they don't get those seats again, then yeah, Gasly, I would. I do like Gasly as a driver, so I would put him with Hulk, and that would be an interesting combination.
Then we have RB. Both seats has not been confirmed yet for next season. Um, Interesting. Definitely Sonoda. I think Sonoda will stay. He's performing well. I mean, I actually spoken to some other well-known people in the community, and he's actually very short. I think he's my height. So I don't know how he sees out of the car, to be honest. But um, so Tsunoda, I would keep. Then we have Ricardo, who is like he's very inconsistent at the moment. But do you think he will stay next season or go, or Liam Lawson will come in?
So RB is very interesting. Obviously RB being the baby team for Red Bull. Ideally, you would have wanted either Daniel Ricciardo or Yuki to perform exceptionally well for them to be bumped up to the seat next to Max. But unfortunately, both of them are not doing it right now. So um, and the reason why their contracts haven't been renewed and it's standing like this at the moment is because they're both underperforming. So with Yuki is a Japanese driver. It would be smart for RB to keep Yuki and for Formula One, just because of geographical positioning, keeping a Japanese driver, keeping Honda happy, because Honda is a big player within Formula One as well. So I don't think Yuki will be leaving anytime soon. Daniel Ricciardo is at risk and he needs to perform like he did this past race at Miami. He needs to perform at least 2 or 3 more races for him to keep that seat. Because if he doesn't perform, Daniel's gonna be out. And I don't foresee any other team chasing Daniel, because he would have had a bad season at McLaren, a bad season at RP. So it would make no sense to for another team to take him. So correct,
Yeah,
having that younger boy coming in, Lawson, possibly yes.
yeah. I also think Liam Lawson. I love him as well. Great driver. Very fast. And yeah. Then we have Horse. Both seats are still available for next year. I think Oliver Bierman is definitely gonna be in the Horse next season. He's driving phenomenal. Um, yeah. When that race in Saudi, when Saints got ill, he literally just jumped in the car. He didn't have any practice at all, and he just performed like he was like driving for the team for 4 years now. So would you put Bierman in the horse as well?
Really put him in, and definitely 100% without flinching, get rid of the spoiler. What's his name? Logan Sargent. Logan Sargent has done nothing for Haas. Logan Sargent, man, Logan, I get frustrated when I see drivers at that level being kept there when they're not performing. Formula One is not about just the political influence or the money, because Logan, obviously Logan is there because of the American Association now. As you've seen the past 2 3 seasons, there's a big drive of getting Formula One within America, and they're pushing for that. So he's been around because of that affiliation, but he is not a Formula One driver. So put him out, get Berman in, and then I don't know who I'd partner him with. Berman and mm, a younger driver. With that,
Magnussen will be definitely out. I don't see him coming back next season. He has too much penalty points, and I think he will. Like if he gets, I think he will get banned every second race then next year. So my if I were Haas, I would give that what's that guy's name? Fittipaldi, I think.
yes, it's a Pelly, yes.
Yeah, I will give him a chance in Formula One. Or
And what's that boy? Antonelli, but Antonelli will probably go to Williams.
yeah, definitely going to Williams Antonelli, because he's in the that drivers academy. Yo, that guy, I think he's also the next Max Verstappen and Hamilton and Schumacher. Going, let's go to Alpine because Mister, this team is like Manchester United.
It is. I agree with you fully.
I thought I had to say that because Jesus Christ, I've never seen a team so being hated at the moment. Well, not hated, like
That's
nobody.
right. Hated
Uh,
is the right word. We hate them right now because they're not performing.
yo, my brother, I would if I were the team principal there, I will lose my balls. I think Alpine is number one, not a Formula One company at all. Give it back to Renault or sell the team to Andretti.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Um, that's my feeling is because Andretti spoken his mouth away over the weekend. There's a maybe announcement coming at Silverstone. I would love to see another American team in Formula One. Yeah. who would you say is driving next year for Alpine? Because, like we know, Ocon and Gasly doesn't want to be there. No. Like we said, we think Gasly is going to stake next season. Where would you put Ocon?
It's a very tricky one. Both French drivers, both of them were at Alpine because of the French family association, basically. Um, the on the drivers that are available in the market, there's no one that I think would would move to or would take them in terms of, oh no, actually there's no one that I would replace them with at Alpine except for themselves, because there's no one strong enough. So for example, Logan Sargent wouldn't be right, Kevin Magnussen wouldn't be right, um Zoe Guan Yu, I'm not sure.
Yes.
Maybe Valtteri Bottas. If Valtteri doesn't go to Aston Martin, he could possibly go to Alpine.
Mm-hmm.
Daniel Ricciardo at Alpine. I'm not sure. I don't know. Alpine for me
Dude, he took
is,
that. He literally backstabbed that team
yeah,
in the back.
yeah, years ago, yeah,
With because of money.
yeah.
No, money is a very powerful thing. Yeah. You know what? I'm gonna take also the bold decision, and I'm gonna say Ocon, and Ocon is gonna stay at Alpine, and then it's either gonna be Zone or Zone, I don't know, or that Doohan guy from Australia.
See, I see. Hmm. Okay, that'd be
I think
interesting.
I think that's a very good. Give the guy a chance in Formula One and see what he does. And then the last team on the grid is Williams.
Definitely
Uh,
Albon and Antonelli.
Albon is signed. Albon is signed, and you would put Antonelli. We both agree with that. Man, that guy looks for me like the Valentino Rossi. He just looks like the complete package, not like driving wise, but marketing wise. Like his surname sounds so cool, Antonelli. I think I must change my surname also to Italian.
Antonelli.
Just because the thing is, my surname is French, so I don't want to be associated with Alpi. uh, and then yeah, so Antonelli is a definitely um a one driver that I'm
you
looking forward to the future. I think, like I said, he's the next Max and Hamilton and Schumi. So that is it. That's our drivers' prediction for next season. Next weekend we have Imola. I just want your prediction for next weekend, please. Who do you think is gonna win it?
I am hoping McLaren can keep the pace. I would love
Mm,
for another McLaren driver to win it. Obviously,
mm.
Max will never be nothing lower than number two. So if Max is not number one, he'll possibly be number two. And I've got a feeling that Ferrari, with the upgrade that they're coming with, is going to be really good. So either Leclerc or Carlos will also be on the podium. So it's definitely those three teams: McLaren, Ferrari, and Red Bull. The Mercedes and Aston Martin are not close enough.
Yeah, like I said, I wouldn't call it. It's a nice thing to see, but it's for once. It's for me. I don't know about you, but it's nice to see that Mercedes is not dominating as they did.
Mhm.
I know Red Bull's dominating, but yeah, Mercedes was dominating for a very long time, and no one could have beaten them. And now they on the other side, and like I said to you, yeah, I think Mercedes also bringing an upgrade this week or next weekend. So it will be interesting to see what they bring to the table. Sipiwe, thank you for having the opportunity to have you on the show. It's always nice chatting with you. Um, and yeah, have a lucky weekend, and hope your week is better next week as well. And see you on the other side, my brother. Cheers.
I appreciate it. It was fun. Have a good one, man. Also have a great weekend.